welcome everybody to our brand new podcast, first episode ever, Healthy Simplified, Mind, Body, and Spirit. My name is Mike Keenan, and here's my co-host,
Suzanne Grennan.
And of course, always we want to welcome our engineer, Christian. Christian, how you doing tonight?
Good, sir. Good.
Oh, great. And isn't this a wonderful studio?
This studio is fabulous. And we want to thank you for helping us with this because we're newbies.
Yes,
No
we're
problem.
very new to the whole podcast where we've had an opportunity to present a lot of what we're going to talk about over the next couple of months in public, out there meeting the people. But we thought we would just do it on a little bit more grander scale and start doing our podcast. We have a mission statement, and one of the reasons, the purpose behind what we're doing is that we find people every day in our businesses who are really struggling with their health. What are you kind of seeing on your end?
I see it all the time, Mike. With my clients, they're always complaining about either being overweight, not knowing what to eat, feeling sluggish. They can't keep up with their demands of every day. And one of the biggest things, too, is they don't sleep well.
Right. And a lot of people come to me. I have a background in exercise, and I have a fitness studio. And people are saying, I'm running 30 miles a week, and I can't lose weight, and I don't know what to do.
Right.
So, it's those kind of struggles that we're encountering every day. And as my dad always said, beginning is half done. So people need to know where to begin. So hopefully tonight we're going to start to get this ball rolling. There'll be an opportunity for people to comment, question, and all kinds of stuff. So we want to make this show very, very interactive. So we thought we'd start off the first week in kind of defining, well, really, what is health? And I know that you were doing some research the other day and you were commenting to me. Tell me a little bit about...
Well, health is a broadcast, but first I want to bring something up, Mike, because I read something the other day, and this was posted by the U.S. Attorney General.
Surgeon General.
Surgeon General.
He's
Thanks
important, too.
He's a surgeon. Anyway, it basically said that 75% of all diseases could have been prevented with nutritional supplements and food and everything else.
Yeah,
so.
I agree 100%. I read the same article, and nutritional deficiencies, although we're not seeing people that are starving in the streets, we are seeing people who are coming to us with symptoms of nutritional deficiency, things like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and cancer and autoimmune disease, right?
And do we thank that to the Great American Diet?
Yeah,
I mean, we have to find out what's happened to our culture,
right. Well, we were all instructed on a food pyramid, and we're going to talk a lot about that in the next couple shows, where the food pyramid really is not exactly what you should be eating. I know the base of that food pyramid used to be grains and carbs and all that kind of stuff, right? And we're going to kind of break that down in later shows. What is a good carb versus what is a bad carb, and fats and so forth. But, we like to define health, right? We've talked about this. We like to define health as physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, and relational. So we're going to kind of each take our take on different aspects of that and kind of explain it as we see it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, because I think, Mike, I think most people really think of health as physical. Okay, your body, it affects you every day. You use it every day. But what people don't understand is the importance of emotional health. That's what drives us every day. We wake up, thinking, okay, what do I have to do now? And it seems like we're all on this time clock. And it's the stress and pressure and this and that. And I know for myself, this is funny because someone had asked me, do you feel like you're stressed in your life? And I'm like, no, I really don't think I have stress in my life. And all of a sudden I start to realize, oh my gosh, it's like every day I walk out of the house, I'm stressed because did I feed the cat? Did I do this? And I got my bags on my arms and I'm trying to get out and my bag gets caught on the doorknob. And it's like, and I have to laugh.
Right.
That's where I stop myself because I can get really upset and go, mother effer. But I laugh because I have to laugh at myself because I know I look like an idiot. But anyway, to get back to emotional health, research that I was doing, they actually explain emotion as a physical thing.
Okay.
Okay. And then feelings are, again, what you feel. It can't be measured. They say emotion can be measured. So think of it this way. So whether you go through a bad experience, someone breaks up with you, or even if you're in a car accident, that initial boom that hits you is your emotion. It's a stimuli that you actually feel physically.
Sure.
But what happens afterwards, what you hold on to, are your feelings.
Yes.
Like, how did you feel at that moment? What happened? Were you hurt? Were you angry? Were you sad? And that goes for your good feelings as well, happiness,
Right.
Enlightenment, gratitude. So it's how we deal with these feelings. And the basic thing to really get yourself healthy emotionally, okay, is that feeling of well-being.
Yes.
That feeling of having things in control, that you can control your behavior, you can control your feelings. That works through a mind process. So it's basically, we almost have to retrain our brains sometimes. You have to understand there's negative and positive energy. And how do we switch that negative to positive? It's by retraining your brain.
Absolutely.
It's almost like doing physical activity.
Well, it's like your words are your seeds, and whatever you sow, you reap. So if you're sowing positive, you're gonna get positive outcome. You're gonna get positive vibes. And if you're always complaining, Susan posted something on Facebook the other day with regards to complaining and how that causes depression, because your brain doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It only knows what you tell it.
Exactly.
And with those feelings, there is a physical manifestation, like you say, because that's something you carry. But the one thing I always want to remind people is your body doesn't live in the past. So your brain shouldn't live there either. So
that's a great point.
Right. So we have to find ways to release some of the negative that we're carrying around with us, like kind of getting that burden off our back. And that goes a long way to helping people restore their mental and emotional health.
That's right. And to understand that it is a choice. It's your choice to be happy or mad or sad. You know what I mean? And that's by the way you think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that does manifest itself into the physical, of course. I always tell people, stress doesn't have any calories, but it certainly does affect your body in tremendous ways, right? So, when people come in to see me, a couple of things we like to talk about. People are like, well, how are you going to define my health from a physical standpoint? Well, we look at things like body composition. And so many people say, my BMI, I just came back from my doctor, and my BMI is high and I'm obese. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? That's just a height to weight ratio that was put together on a chart by an insurance company about 100 years ago. Let's find out what your composition is. How much body fat do you have versus how much lean mass you have? And I always tell people lean mass is muscles, bones, tendons, organs, blood volume, all the things that your energy consuming parts of your body. So it's important to identify that, because I've had people come in and that one person's 150 pounds and they're in a size 12 dress, and another person's 150 pounds and they're in a size 8 dress.
Correct.
So they're completely different body types and body composition, And then we look at blood work, to see how your systems are working, what's your cholesterol like, your blood glucose levels, and so forth. And those, we get those from the doctor. I ask my clients to bring in your blood work. Let's see what that's all about. And then we look at strength, physical strength and posture and endurance. You don't want to fatigue too quickly, and you want to have enough strength to go through your activities of daily living, stuff like that. Flexibility. How many people sit at a desk all day, right?
Oh, exactly.
What do you think their low back is like, or their hip flexors, right? So if you're tight in your hips, it's going to affect your posture, and it all goes into that. And then all that relates back into your mental and physical energy. Because if you're mentally fatigued, it's going to affect you physically. And if you're physically fatigued, it affects you mentally, So, there's so many, that's why we talk about mind and body and spirit, because they all kind of play together. So these are the kind of things that we want to talk more about in the future. And we're going to get into things like how hormones affect these aspects of your body, and your diet, your exercise, and just, how you live your life. Hydration levels. We're going to get into that in a couple of weeks.
Hydration.
Boys, that's a big topic. We're going to be talking about that.
How to pump up your endorphins.
Yes.
Keep you happy.
Yes, because
power through the day.
Well, that comes when we start talking about digestion and gut health, how that works. We're going to spend a lot of time like that. But, we want to put out a little bit of a challenge to our audience this week. We're going to be doing this every week. We're going to have a challenge of the week. So this week, from a physical standpoint, we're going to try to say, okay, what can you do? What 3 things can you do this week to start to improve your physical health? So I just have some real simple suggestions, things you've heard before, but I thought maybe I'd just bring them up again. Like parking further away in the parking lot and walking to work, right? Give those good parking spots at the supermarket
For
to
the
people,
old folk.
for people who need it. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. There's a good one, right? And then think about when you're putting your meals together, what kind of healthy food are you putting on your plate? We're going to talk a lot about nutrition next week, so we're going to be able to answer that question a whole lot better. And drink your water.
Definitely
How many people have problems because they're just chronically dehydrated,
Exactly.
So
it doesn't take much. So this is what we said before. Where do you start? This is how you start, with tiny little steps. And you know what? Give yourself a pat on the back if you did any one of them. Even if, I know a lot of you have your Fitbits and you're counting your steps and
I
this
have my
and that,
watch.
right? Go for it. Be happy about it. And don't beat yourself up if one day you have a bad day, because you know what? There's always tomorrow.
Absolutely. There's always a chance to start over again. What do we talk about? Suzanne and I do a lot of coaching with business owners and stuff. And what do we say? What is failure? Failure is just another opportunity to start over again with more information.
And to improve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's key.
So again, we talked about this being more of an interactive show, and I'm dying for this to get on Facebook and YouTube, and we're gonna have the opportunity for people to comment on what we talk about. We'd love to get your feedback. We want to hear what everyone's asking out there and talking about, and we may say something one week and someone may take exception with that. They might be like, well, I don't think that's right. Well, good. Why don't you send that to us?
Yeah, we want to know how you feel, and any way that we can help or inspire you, and anything that we can learn from you.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's going to be people who are getting on who have a background in medicine, or they have a background in exercise or nutrition, or lifestyle coaching and stuff like that. So we definitely would like that.
So
We're gonna
any input,
absolutely, and we're going to encourage you to like our posts, so we know that you're out there watching us.
Right.
Comment on it, share it with your friends. You might, how many times do we sit back and we're watching something on Facebook? I know I'm very big with Steve Harvey because I like him. He's a great motivational teacher and stuff. I'll share his stuff on Facebook because I think some of the people that I'm friends with would like to know a little bit more about what he's saying.
He's great. He's great. There's so many out there. I mean, you can go crazy, but that's another key point, Mike, that to listen to some positive messages every day, and it could be from anybody.
Right.
A lot of times we don't like to listen to our parents, but hearing the same message from somebody else, somehow it impacts us. So
absolutely.
Right.
So as an incentive to people
Okay.
commenting, liking, sharing, or what's big on Facebook now, the watch parties, right? We always host a watch party. Something good comes on, something I think my friends would enjoy watching, I just host a watch party and they all jump on, right? So if you go ahead and do that, if you comment, like, share, or host a watch party, we're going to have weekly prizes to give out to our audience, right? So it encourages you to do these things. So we would love you to share this information we're giving you with your friends. And you know what? We're also going to have some other features we're going to talk about real quick. We're going to have soon starting our video of the week. Right now, I'm trying to coax Suzanne. Suzanne's an awesome cook, so maybe one week we might
could share some recipes.
We'll do that, and you'll get in your kitchen and show off your cooking, and I might offer some exercise of the week videos. But we're also going to start doing some on-location things. We're going to be going the same places you're going. Like, for example, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be at the seafood festival, walking around, maybe talking to some of the food vendors there and seeing what they're offering. They may have some foods there that are really good for you. Then we may have some guilty pleasure food out there too that you might want to
Take
enjoy.
just a little piece.
Yeah, see, some of us can get away with that. The problem with me is if I eat one, I want to eat the whole thing,
know.
right? So we'll be doing stuff like that. We'll have some really cool stuff. And then, again, coming out, meeting us live at different things. And then we're going to give you a little cliffhanger every week,
Right, and we might even have some special guests on that we might interview.
I forgot all about that.
Right?
Sure, absolutely. Maybe.
Again, for more insight. Yeah.
Yep, I had someone today ask me if they could be a guest on our show in the future. I said absolutely.
Okay, I love it.
Love it.
Love it.
So next week we can start talking about next week. We're going to start talking more about nutrition.
Yes.
Right. Key. And what exactly should be on your plate depending on what you're trying to accomplish. We both have people we know who are looking to lose weight. That seems to be the most popular, I would say. And then we have people say, well, I have type 2 diabetes, or I have hypertension, I have high cholesterol. Is there anything I can be doing to help me with that?
There's a lot of things.
Yep.
There's a lot of things, right?
And then there's my clients who come to me and they want to gain more lean mass. And what do I tell them? I said, if you don't bring 10 stories worth of bricks, I can't build you a 10-story building, right? So you need to have the building materials. So we want to thank you again for joining us today.
Yes.
Yes. And we're going to be back next week with more information on nutrition. So please tune in. And like I said, please comment, like, and share.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear a little bit more about how you liked how we started off, okay?
Exactly.
So this is Mike Keenan.
Suzanne Grennan.
And Christian, as always, here. And we're just signing off, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.